Okay, good morning and welcome back. Hope everybody had a good weekend. So, so we're going to do the last example in chapter 5 in your textbook, which is example 5.7. So that's this one here on the syllabus. Comes after the one we did on last Wednesday. So example 5.7 today. And then we got a few more exercises to do next week, and then we're building up to the second take-home midterm, so we're getting to that pretty close. We're almost pretty close to 2/3 of the way through the class. Okay, and so, well, definitely more than halfway done. Okay, and so today we're going to do example 5.7, which is this one. And I'm a little bit behind on grading your assignments, so I'll probably get those updated this weekend. And so just keep posting your assignments here in the discussion before the due date, and I'll update those pretty soon. So we got a few assignments since the spring break to grade, but I'll try to get those all updated so you can see your grades and your assignments grade by this weekend. Okay, but for today, example 5.7 and example 5.7 and example 5.5.5.6 that we did. No, so example 5.7 and example 14.1, which we're going to do this week, we'll be doing next Monday. Okay. All right, so let's click on example 5.7. And you can open up the example 5.7 Word document, and you can open up the flight scheduling Excel file. That's the one we're going to be using. Okay, this one. And this one here. Okay, so let me read, this one's labeled 5.8, but I think it's the same exercise from the previous textbook. So let me read a little description about using network models for flight scheduling, and then we'll go ahead and start this one. So just get that flight scheduling Excel file open up. Okay, so scheduling flights at Tri-City Airlines. The Tri-City Airlines flies several daily commuter flights to and from New York City, Washington, D.C., and Boston, so around the East Coast major cities. The company has been flying a fixed daily schedule of flights, but it is now deciding whether to change the schedule or not. Each potential flight has a net revenue based on the typical number of passengers, and we have a list and a chart in the spreadsheet we'll see for the potential revenues. Okay, the company owns 4 airplanes and doesn't plan on buying any more, so we're not going to buy any new airplanes. So we got 4 airplanes assigned to different routes throughout the day. Fixed cost is $1,500 per plane, and yep, okay. And then if there's any flights, we have to add that. So a plane that is not used doesn't incur the fixed cost, but there's delay time on the ground, so you can leave a flight in Boston for 10 minutes. Or sorry, there is no delay time, so we're kind of assuming there's no transaction costs, which is kind of unrealistic, but it simplifies the model, which means that like if the flight lands in Boston at 10, it can immediately leave from Boston at 10. So obviously there's like an hour or more. Then when you get a transition, you got to clean the plane, unload the plane, luggage, stuff like that, maintenance. But let's assume for simplicity that if the plane lands at a certain time, it can go ahead and begin a new flight at that same time or any time later than that. Okay, and then let's see, we have some options overnight. The plane can either stay at its current location, because I don't think there's any flights here, like there's no red eyes. The last flight ends at like midnight or something like that. And so what we can do is leave the flight at the current location and be ready for the next morning's flights, or we can ship the plane to a new location if we need it somewhere, and for $500 we can have it ready at a different location and start flights from that location the next day. Okay, so those are kind of the ideas, and what we want to do here is maximize net revenue for this flight and develop a little flight plan and see what the best choice of routes and use of the plane is for this model. Okay. Okay, so here's our model, flight scheduling. And see we got the 4 planes. It's $1,500 per plane, so that's in hundreds. And the overnight cost is also in hundreds, so that's essentially 500. Okay, these are all the options. The flight number doesn't really matter, but what does matter is the possible routes and the times and the revenues. So this is a list of all the options. Boston to New York at 8 o'clock, it arrives at 9 o'clock, and revenue is 2,500. All right, so these are all the options from Boston somewhere to New York somewhere and from DC somewhere. Okay, so all the potential routes we have there, and we're going to develop a network schedule that gives us the best option of choosing here with the 4 planes. All right, and we are going to maximize net profit from all of these flights we choose. Okay, so I think we can start this one. All right, there's a little video that's kind of relevant on how flights are scheduled. If you want to take a look at that, that's a nice 5 or 10 minute YouTube video. All right, so we're only doing one model, but there's a bunch of range names. It's kind of there's a lot of information here, but once we set it up, it'll start going quicker. But we got to make a bunch of range names, and so let's first set up the color coding. Like we'll color the inputs and objectives and decision variables. Then we'll make all these range names, and then we'll go ahead and start doing the calculations. Okay, first thing is the inputs, and you can see these are inputs here. Plane's own fixed cost per plane and overnight costs, so you can highlight these numbers, light blue for inputs. Okay, and technically all of this flight information is also a set of inputs, so I guess we can just highlight all that. If you want to highlight everything from the origin to the net revenue section, like this. Okay, so basically B10 to F32, you can highlight that light blue to be a whole big range of inputs that we're going to use for possible flight schedules. Okay. We have a bunch of decision variables. Actually, I think some of the constraints are already in there, but the flight flow is, we're going to basically, if we choose the flight flow, that means we send a plane on it. And if we don't, then we don't choose it. But this area looks like D37 to D59. Okay, we can highlight that the light red color for our decision variable range. Okay, and then we're going to choose what we want to do with the plane for each. If it's not flying, then we have to decide what to do with it for the 30-minute intervals. So basically, leave it where it is, or it's either got to be left on a certain place, or it's got to be flying. So we have to determine what that plane is doing in the ground flow. So this is a big area, but this is a whole big decision variable range starting in D63. So D63 to D63 to D134, you can highlight that whole area light red. Okay, D63 to D134, right? Yeah, okay. And then also we have overnight flow. We have to specify what we want to do with the plane overnight. Either leave it where it is or send it somewhere else. There's a few options, but we have to specify where that plane is overnight. Okay, so this whole region, E138 to E146, light red, I think that's our last decision variable range. Okay, and then we're down here, so our objective, right, is to maximize net profit, so that means that our objective cell is B156, okay, highlight yellow. Okay, and then let's scroll up here. I think there's, yeah, so we have a flow balance constraint like we do in all of these network models. And so, well, this is actually the constraints already set up, so we're good with that. Okay, so let's kind of run through what we did, and then we'll start doing the range names. This is the input data for the cost per plane, and so on. These are the possible routes. We're going to choose which flights we flow here. I mean, which flights we choose. We're going to specify where the flights are if they're not flying, where the planes are, and we're going to specify what the planes do overnight. We're going to maximize net profit, and then we have some constraints where we can't use more than 4 planes because we only have 4 planes. Here we're going to specify that we can't send more than one flight on each route because, for obvious reasons, we can only send one flight on the same route. All right, and then we'll have our flow balance constraint over here just to make sure that we account for all the planes. Okay. Okay, now let's make our range names. We have all these to make, and I'll try to specify the ones that are close together so we can get them faster. But this is the big list that we need to specify. So let's go ahead and start doing those. All right, so don't worry about the inputs, but let's do, I think we can do flight origin, flight destination, flight net revenue, and flight flow all together. Yeah, let's do that. So go ahead and select this whole area together. Okay, A36 to D59. All right, then we can make these 4 range names all at the same time. So select A36 to D59, and let's go ahead and go to formulas. Create from selection. Okay, so you got to make sure you specify what Excel is not 100% sure what you're doing because there's text in here. And so we want to tell it to uncheck that, okay, because we want top row because we want this to be named that. We want this to be named that, and so on. So uncheck the left column and leave it top row for these 4 and hit OK. Okay, we need over here. Let's get net outflow. So this one, start with I-36. So go ahead and select I-36 all the way down to I-111. Okay. So this whole range for all the net outflows next to the nodes, I-36 to I-111. Let's make a range name for that. And formulas, create from selection, top row, okay. Okay, for the ground arcs, let's do all those at the same time as well. So starting with ground origin, you can select this big range. So question is, okay, call, or I'm not sure. Oh, I see what you're saying. So on the, okay. So under from the Mac version of the formulas tab, okay. So you don't see the option for, so remember, this is how wasn't there a different way to do it for a Mac? You've got to do,
Yeah, on mine it's saying calculate workbook calculations options and show formulas. Right. On under like the formulas tab.
um, when we've done the range names before, what have you done to get
Well,
that?
this is just because I'm like jumping back into the class. I haven't used this Excel yet.
Okay, so you haven't, okay, I thought you did them for the last, yeah, you're using this, so you're using the Excel that you got through the school,
Yeah.
but I think, are you using the online version?
It like downloaded uh onto my computer from how you had us get it at the very beginning of the year.
Okay,
Through like
yeah, so I think if you're using the online, I think you might need to, did you actually download the Microsoft Office software onto your computer?
yeah.
You did, and it's not, and you don't see the options here?
No, I don't. Is
Is it just, um, that's weird because, so
we could deal with it at another time and then you just go on with class if that works.
okay,
All right, thank you.
yeah, no problem. Are you using a Mac though?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll keep going, but if anyone else knows I think we might have had this problem before. We're trying to find some of the options on a Mac, but I can't remember exactly what we. Okay, I'll see if I can figure it out at the end of class today.
All right, thank you. No worries.
Okay, let's see. We're still doing the range names, so we're about to do these ones. So ground origin to ground destination to ground cost to ground flow. So if you select this big region together, okay, so you got ground origin, ground destination, ground cost, ground flow. So eighth 62 all the way to D134. So select A62 to D134, and let's make those four range names together. Okay, so formulas create from selection. All right, so we want top row again. Okay, uncheck this. So top row. Okay. Okay, then let's do some more for the overnight arcs. So we got overnight origin. No, yeah, overnight origin, overnight destination, overnight flow. So let's do these ones. Okay, so you can select A137 to B146 and formulas, create from selection. So top row again, only. Okay. Overnight flow, E137 to E146. Okay. Formulas, create from selection, top row. Okay.
Hey, Professor, did you do overnight cost too, or no?
No, so I only did overnight origin, overnight destination, and overnight flow.
All right, for sure.
Yeah. And let's do, these ones are just one cell, but number used and number owned. Okay, so this one, B149 to B150. And number owned, D149 to D150. Okay, net profit, which is this one, A156 to B156. Okay, I think we need some from that other constraint over here. Yeah, so get net outflow, which is this one here. All right, really big range you have to get. So start with the net outflow. So I36 to I111. Okay, this whole range, I36 to I111. Okay, and formulas, selection, top row. Okay, all right, I think we have them all, but let's double check. So let's go ahead and click on formulas tab and name manager. So let's go through these here. So double check if you need any of these repeated, then let me know, and I'll show you where the range is. But we have flight destination, flight flow, flight net revenue, flight origin, ground cost. Guess we didn't need that one. That's okay. Ground cost, ground destination, ground flow, ground origin, net outflow, net profit, number owned, number used, overnight destination, overnight flow, and overnight origin. Okay, so it's a whole bunch. All right, so double check your list there. And if you missed any of those, then everyone okay on the range names that we got?
Yep.
Okay. All right, and also you can try if you couldn't like Cole, if you couldn't specify the range names, you can specify the range when we're doing the formulas. If that it's a little bit more tedious, but I'll see if I can reference the areas. Okay. All right. Okay, so step one is a really big formula that's going into I-37. All right, and we have to make sure we get it right because we're going to copy and paste it to the rest of the range. But this big formula is going in I-37. All right, we're going to double check it, maybe triple check it, because it's got to be right to get the rest of the model to work. Okay, so let's start. This huge formula is going in I-37. Where's that? Okay, I-37 right here under the net outflow, the first one next to Boston 8, right there, that formula is equals. Sure. All right, so just keep typing in the formula you see there, and I'll go over it when I get it in there. Let's see. It's a few more components. All right, let me hit enter. Okay, so here's our formula. Equals sum if. It's a whole bunch of sum ifs. Equals sum if flight origin H37 flight flow plus sum if ground origin H37 ground flow plus sum if overnight origin H37 overnight flow, and then minus, but see all this stuff is in parentheses, so there's a minus and then parenthesis, sum if flight destination H37. There we go. Okay, so right here, starting in that minus parentheses, sum if flight destination H37 flight flow plus sum if ground destination H37 ground flow plus sum if overnight destination H37 overnight flow. All right, so it's a long formula, but you're basically taking what goes out of all of these locations, right? The origins minus what goes in. So see how it's flight origin, ground origin, overnight origin minus flight destination, ground destination, overnight destination. Okay, so it's a long formula, but you can kind of see what we're doing. And the indicator should be on the Boston 8, which we're going to apply down. But see, it's a big sum of all the things, all the flows that come out of the origin minus parentheses a sum of all the things that go into the destination. Okay, so see that? So double check this formula. It should give you 0 for now. But that's going to change if we choose that route. But look at this formula, and then if you couldn't make the range names with the formula shortcuts, you could, I mean, see how the flight origin refers to that range? Okay, so instead of flight origin, you could just select A37 to A59, right? And instead of flight flow, you could just select D37 to D59, right? So if you select the ranges, if you don't have the range names, it'll do the same thing. It's just a little more tedious. So if you're able to do that, it'll work that way as well. But you have to make sure you got the appropriate range. Okay. So, anyone having problems with any errors with the formula?
I'm having some problems.
Okay, so it's probably, I mean, it's the most common problem would probably be this here. So double check that you have this first, the first region of sum if flight origin, sum if ground origin, plus sum if overnight origin. And then minus right there, parentheses. Okay, and then you have this whole other group of sum ifs in those parentheses that are being subtracted, and then double parenthesis at the end. So I think make sure you have that minus there and the extra parenthesis on this right there and right there. Okay, did it work or still?
It like gives me 0, but it gives me like zeros all the way down to like Boston 13. But I can't like get rid of it.
Okay, let me just, can I just look at yours if you want to post it to,
Yeah.
yeah, post it to Example57. I'll take a look. And then if you got it to work, okay, the next step is just, that's the formula. All right, so we're going to apply it down for all these other nodes. Okay, so if you think you got this formula right, in I-37, just select it and double click the bottom right corner like that. And that should apply the appropriate formula for each node all the way down like this. Okay, and see how the last one is the same thing except it's referring to Washington, DC 20. Okay, and you should get a bunch of zeros for now because we don't have anything in the flows yet, but the formula should be set up. So let me know if that works. Okay, did the formula work for most of us? Yeah. All right. So if we got that, that was the main formula. But let's do another step, and then I'll double check that file. So step 2 is just put a 0 in K37 and copy it down the K column. Okay, there's a bunch of short steps that you got to just some quick specifications. So 0 in K37. Okay, so put a 0 here. And just double click the bottom right corner so we're saying that basically the planes have all landed after this model solve. So the planes have to land somewhere. They can't be en route. Okay, so do that. Okay, so there's a 0 here for all the required. Okay, so this will be a constraint. We're going to say that all the net outflows have to equal the required, which is 0. All right, so let's see what we got. Okay, so I think there's. Okay, so Raymond, I don't. Yeah, Raymond. Let's see. So there's a missing H37. I see that. So you got sum if flight origin H37 flight flow, right? So plus sum if ground origin H37 ground flow plus sum if overnight origin, comma H37. Okay, that goes. Put an H37 right there, and you got minus sum if. I think that's it. Okay, so you just missed one of the H37 indicators, which I believe is right there. So after overnight origin and before overnight flow, put H37 and try that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, did that work?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so where are we? All right, step 3. Now let's put a 1 in F37 and copy it down the F column. All right, so we're going to specify that we can't send more than one flight on each route. All right, so you can only send a maximum of one flight on each route. You don't want 2 flights on the same route. That's a bad idea. So put a 1 here, starting in F37. And you can just double click the bottom right corner like this. And so you got a 1 here in all of the flight capacities. All right, so all the flight flows are either 0 or 1. You can send one plane on the route or 0. That's it. Okay, step 4, let's put this formula in B150. All right, so we're going to get the overnight flow formula, B150. All right, so here, down at the bottom, where it's on the constraint on planes, B150, the formula is equals. Okay, equals sum overnight flow. All right, so you can only use, there's going to be 4 planes, so we're probably going to use all the 4 planes, so we're going to make sure that this sum doesn't exceed 4. All right, so equals sum overnight flow, and like Cole, you could just, instead of having sum overnight flow, we could just say sum and select this range, right? Do that. Okay, step 5. Let's put this formula in B153. And so we got some formulas that are going to go in the, we're going to basically calculate the revenues, and then we'll get the total revenue in the next step. So let's do the first revenue in B153. Sorry, we'll get the revenues, and then we'll get the costs, and then obviously the profit is revenue minus cost. So first one here, B153, this is step 5, equals all right, so equals sum product, flight net revenue, flight flow. Okay, so when we do this, if we choose the flight, we get the revenue from it. So all the flights we choose, we add up all the revenue. All right, and if you don't have there we go. Okay, so if you don't have the range names, you can just select the ranges. So we could say equals sum product this region, this range, comma, this range. All right, so that'll work as well. Okay, then for the next one, fixed cost, the formula is, we're still in step 5 equals. Equals sum product C138 okay, equals equals sum product C138 to C146. There we go. Equals sum product C138 to C146, comma, overnight flow. All right, so for the fixed costs, what are we doing here? See, if we choose to send the plane to somewhere else, we got to pay for that. Or no, I'm sorry. This is just the yeah. So the overnight flow is if we send it to a different location, and we have a cost for that. Okay. So see how it's just this region, so equals sum product C138 to C146, comma, overnight flow for the fixed cost. All right. So basically, we're going to pay a fixed cost per plane. There's going to be 4 fixed costs. Okay, then the overnight costs will be based on the overnight flow. So this previous one was just saying that we're probably going to use all the planes, and each plane costs $1,500. This next one is if we send the plane to a new location overnight, we got to pay $500 for that. All right, so in B155 equals sum product okay equals sum product D138 to D146, comma, overnight flow. All right, so that's just this one here. So if we send the plane somewhere else, we got to pay the $500 to ship it there or fly it there. If we don't, then it's a 0. So this region, the sum product of this times this.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yeah,
Could you, can I look at the equation for B155 real quick?
this one, yeah.
Wait, Professor.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having another problem. It keeps popping up as like hashtag value with the like an exclamation point for fixed cost and overnight.
I'm in the same boat as him.
Okay, so that means it's not getting a reference. It's missing either the formula is not right or it's not getting a correct reference. So for net revenues, is it doing that? Or just the fixed cost and overnight cost?
For me, it's just the fixed cost and overnight.
All right, so this one, it might just be that let's double check the range. So for the fixed cost, see how the range has got to be the same. And one of them is not a range name, so it's just equals sum product. And then in the parentheses, C138 to C146, comma, overnight flow. So it's just sum product this range, comma, this range. And if you got that, there's nothing in there now, so it shouldn't give you an error, right? So just I think maybe double check the blue range. Okay, and then this one, same thing, equals sum product D138 to D146, so this range, comma, overnight flow, which is this range. So see how they're both the same, and again, nothing, no numbers are in there yet, so it just should just give you 0 to set it up. But did that work?
Still giving me the value thing.
Okay, one of you, so maybe you're both getting the same problem, so I can look at, do you want to post it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, post it under example 5, yeah, same one, example 5.7, I'll take a look. And then I'll just do one, the next step is just to get the profit, which is revenue minus cost. Okay, so we're up to this point here, where are we? Yeah, so we've done the revenue, the two costs, and then step 6 is just to get profit, which is revenue minus cost, which is essentially B155, B153 minus B154 minus B155. So let's put that in B156. Okay, this is our objective. This is what we're going to maximize. All right, so right here in B156, the yellow cell equals okay, so just B153 minus B154 minus B155. Okay, so it's just, see what we're doing, the revenue minus cost. So this minus this minus this, what we make minus the two cost components is our revenue. Net profit. All right, here we go. Let's see what's going on with this one. So this is good. All right, so see I think the problem is you just see how the range name is see how this range is longer than this range? So you can either redo the range name, see how the ranges have to match up, or just do this. Delete the overnight flow part. Okay, maybe just try that, Raymond. Equals sum product C138 to C146, comma, E138 to E146. So that way see how the ranges have to be the same distance. Okay, and then this one, same thing. Let's do okay, sorry about that. So this one, overnight cost equals sum product D138 to D146, comma, E138 to E146. Okay, so that should work. Okay, so if you change this one to that, all right, And then this one to that, it should work. Did that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and there was someone else that was having the same issue. Did that fix yours? Okay. And then we got net profit, which is just revenue minus costs. Okay, so everybody else good so far?
Yep.
All right. Okay, perfect. We are in step 7, so we just got a few more tweaks to do, and then we'll run the solver. So step 7 is just let's make a reference to the flight net revenue in cell C37 and copy it down. So step 7. Oh, this is not. All right, scroll up to. Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do in this step is, the inputs, we have the revenue from each in hundreds. So what we're going to do is reference that first one here and just make Excel copy. So you can either copy and paste the revenues here, or you can just reference them. So I think the easiest thing to do is go to C37 and do equals F10, enter. Okay, and then you can double click the bottom right corner. So this one's equals F10 and just double click the bottom right corner like that. And what that's going to do, hopefully, is just go down. So it's going to be equals F10 equals F11 all the way down to equals F32. And so all the revenues you got from the flights listed here are the same revenues that you listed down here in the arcs for those flights. So these numbers from 25 to 15 should now be here. Equal 25 to 15. Okay, so we got the flight net revenues here for each corresponding flight, just basically from these numbers up there. Step 8. Okay, a few more things. Let's put a 0 for the ground cost in C63. Okay, so the ground cost, there's no ground cost, but we still have to specify where that plane is. So just put a 0 there in C63. And the easiest thing to do here is just click on that cell again, double click the bottom right corner, and you get a 0 for all the ground costs like that. Okay, those are all zeros. Okay, let's put this reference in C138 and copy it down. Okay, step 9. Okay, in C138 equals $$B, $5. So all we're doing is referencing the fixed cost, which is 1,500, right? Okay, and then apply that one down. You can either double click the bottom right corner like that. Okay, so you got a fixed cost of 1,500 for each option, right? So whatever plane you use, no matter what, you got to pay the 1,500 to do that, to use that plane, right? That's the fixed cost per day. Okay, few more things that actually we got to put numbers in the decision variables in a minute. Okay, step 10. Let's put a 0 or a 5 for the appropriate overnight cost in that range, and then a 4 in D150. Okay. So see this column here for overnight costs? We need to specify basically if we're going to send the plane somewhere else, it's going to cost $500, right? So if it goes from Boston to Boston, we're not sending it. There's no cost because it's not flying, so that's a 0. But if it goes from Boston to New York, that's $500. If it goes from Boston to DC, that's a 5. If it goes from New York to Boston, that's a 5. New York to New York, it's staying in the same place, that's a 0. Okay, New York to DC, 5. DC to Boston, 5. DC to New York, 5. And if we leave it in Washington, DC overnight, no cost. Okay, so it's 0, 5, 5, 5, 0, 5, 5, 5, 0. And then right here, we have 4 planes. We're not going to buy any more for this model, so just put a 4 in there because we can't use more than 4 planes. So number owned, 4. All right, and last thing, because I forgot about it before, is we need to put some values into the flows so solver can find the solution. So starting with flight flow in D37, let's just put zeros in there for now. Okay, 0 in D37, then double click the bottom right corner like that. So we got zeros in the flight flow. Let's put zeros in the ground flow. Okay, you got a 0 now in D63 to D134, and then let's put zeros in the overnight. I think that's it. Okay, so I think we have the model set up. We're about to do the solver. We're gonna choose all the flight flows, all right, or the ones we want to choose. We're gonna specify where the plane is at specific times on the ground, and then if we want to send it overnight, we can do that. We're probably gonna use 4 planes at $1,500 per day, and we're trying to get our maximum revenue based on this problem with the 4 planes. Okay, so everyone good before we run the solver? Try to solve this.
Yep.
All right, now. Okay, let's go ahead and do data solver. Okay. The objective is net profit, so click on that button and go ahead and choose B156.
Which one's the objective?
The objective is the net profit. It should be the yellow cell, or otherwise
Gotcha.
B156 right there. Yeah, B156. Okay. We are changing all the flows. So let's see. we'll just select them, I think. It's probably the easiest way. So click on this button. Okay, and let's first select flight flow, which is D37 to D59, all right, and then comma. Okay, comma D63 to D134, and then the other one, comma. E38 to E146. Okay, so there's three specific flows, D37 and D59, comma, D63 to D134, comma, E138 to E146. Maybe hit this. Okay. All right, we have some constraints. First one, click on add.
What was the last one? My bad. What was the last one?
The last one was E138 to E146. This one here. Yeah. E138 to E146. Yeah. Okay, you get it?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, subject to the constraints, let's click on the first one, add. Where did we start? You got. Let's do the flow balance constraint first. This one, net outflow equals required. So let's just say that. All right, so cell reference, click on that. Is this region? I137 to I111. Okay. And let's just say that equals 0, like it should over here, equals, and just type in a 0. Okay, so for this one, I137 to I111 equals 0. Okay. Let's see, we got some more. Constraints, add. All right, flight flow has got to be less than or equal to 1. Okay, so we can do that one. Cell reference right there. Okay, flight flow, which is okay, D37 to D59. Choose that. Less than or equal to 1. Okay, D37 to D59, less than or equal to 1. Hit OK. All right, we got a few more, I think. Subject to constraints, add. Okay, I think just this one. Number used. Okay, cell reference, hit that. It's just this cell. B150. Click on that. Less than or equal to. Just put in a 4 there. Okay, B150. Less than or equal to 4. So we can't use more than 4 planes. Okay. All right, so, and then make sure this solving method is switched to simplex LP, and that's checked. So let's go through this and double check yours before we solve it. So the objective, if you have the range names, is net profit, maximize, and we have three specific flows: flight flow, comma, ground flow, comma, overnight flow. And the constraints, flight flow less than or equal to 1. Okay, we can't send more than 1 flight per route. Net outflow equals 0. Okay, that makes sure all the planes are or on the ground. And then we can't use more than 4 planes, so number used is less than or equal to 4. This is checked, and this is simplex. Okay, so everyone good on this before we solve it? Okay, let's see if this works. Let's solve it. And let's hit OK. And I believe that's what we should get, 396. So that's in hundreds. So that the solution is net profit of what, 39,000? Or yeah. Okay, let me see if that's. Yeah. Okay, do we get 396?
I got 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine just stayed the same.
You got 396?
Not 0. Oh,
Zero.
you got-
mine got 0. Yeah.
Oh, we got lots of zeros. Okay, nobody made any profit. So okay. All right. Let's see what we can. All right. Let's. What somebody post. Tyler, you want to post yours? Let's try start that.
Yeah, I post mine.
Okay. Did anybody get 396? I think that's what we're supposed to get.
Yeah, I got that.
All right. So at least okay. So yeah. So this was a long one. I mean, it wasn't that. It's just a lot of specifications. So there's many places that can go wrong.
5.7, right?
Yeah. 5. Yeah. Right.
All right, I posted it.
Okay. So yours first thing is you're missing one of the flows. So it should be flight flow, comma overnight flow, comma ground flow, which is this big one here, this range. Okay, D63 to D134.
So flight flow and then overnight flow.
And then ground flow, but I think you might have not.
I,
Okay, so let's try that. Yeah, all right, that'll. Okay, that worked for me. So all you gotta do, well, unless this is this the right one? Let's see. No. Hold on.
I think. Look at my flight flow. You see how the zero's going all the way down? I think that's where I messed up at.
Okay, yeah. All right, so let me run through the solution real quick, and then if you're done, you can post it. But let me look at a few of the other ones. So hold on a second. Where's mine? This one. All right. So let me just run through what we got, and then if you've got this, you can go ahead and post it and sign off. So the solution is we chose these routes, right? The ones that are ones. We chose that route and got that revenue. Okay, you can see that we don't have any planes in the air after the model is solved. The net outflow all equals 0. Okay, we didn't choose more than one flight per route, and we chose those routes. And we accounted for the planes on the ground, right? Sometimes there's two at the same location, which is fine. And then this, we left 2 planes overnight in Boston and 2 planes overnight in DC. Didn't choose to send them somewhere else, probably because the revenue, the cost wasn't worth it. We used all the planes. Okay, and we got a profit in hundreds, essentially at 45,000. Didn't have any overnight costs, and this is the fixed costs. Okay, so if you got that, and you got your net profit of 396, I think that's it for this model. You can go ahead and post it here. All right, that's due next Monday under 5/7. So we're done with this one. And if you want me to look at yours, let me just hold on for a second, and I'll try to fix it. So if you're done, you're free to go. And thank you for joining. And have a good rest of your week. And I'll see you Wednesday. But if you need me to look at it, just hold on a second. All right, let me go back to this one. Okay, so what happened here?
So I think I figured it out. What goes under by changing variable cells? Which cells is it?
Let's see.
So I got flight flow.
Okay, it should be ground flow. It should be flight flow, overnight flow, and ground flow.
Flight flow overnight. What cells is overnight?
Um,
E138 to E146.
Overnight is, so you already had the overnight one, but the one you didn't have was this one. I don't know if this is I don't know why there's zeros here. So this is,
There shouldn't be zeros in none of those. I think that's where I messed up at. Because next to ground cost, there is nothing. You know what I mean?
okay. So for yours, let's go ahead and do this. So go to, well, this doesn't really matter, but why is there a zero there? I don't know. Oh, that's okay. We got some problems. Okay, so for the net revenue, see how it's like the whole, you've got this, see, I think just the range names need to be fixed. Wait, net revenue, flight flow, because that's, all right, let's do this. Okay, I think this is yours, so let's fix B153. Let's change the formula to equal sum product.
You said B153?
Yeah, so this is B153. So this range name is not the right range. So let's just change it to the right range.
Oh,
So
okay.
equals sum product. C37 to C59, comma. D37 to D59. Okay, so equals sum product C37 to C59, comma D37 to D59. That's the right range there.
Mhm.
For this one, fixed cost, that's right. The net cost, that's right. And that looks right. Now let me go double check this one. All right, and then let's so make that, you made that correction here,
Yeah.
and then let's try hitting the solver again. And I think all of these flows might not be right, so the ground flow was fine, but the overnight. Actually, this one needs to be changed. So the flight flow, delete that. And let's choose,
You said delete flight flow.
yeah, delete flight flow and instead just select the range, which is C138 to C146.
C138.
Sorry, what did I select? D37
Oh, okay,
to
okay.
D59. I don't know where it's. Oh, yeah. So D37. I was reading the formula. So D37 to D59.
All right.
This was weird too. So let's delete the overnight flow and
Overnight flow is weird too.
overnight flow starts here. It should start here.
fuck.
Yeah, it's all it. Your ranges were all misspecified, but it shouldn't be too hard to fix. So D.
Hold on real quick. I just messed up. So for flight flow, it's D37 to D59, right? For flight flow.
Okay, flight flow. Yeah, D37 to D59,
Okay.
comma D63 to D134, and then maybe this one's right.
Comma.
All right, so let's just put the range. So there we go. So sorry. So D37 to D59, comma D63 to D134, and then comma E138 to E146. So I just
All right, hold on. The second one was D what?
D63 to D134.
D63 to D134.
Yeah.
Okay. And then see that's so every time I put it, it just deletes the first number I have in there.
So you gotta have you gotta put the range and put a comma, and then put the next range, and then put a comma, and then see how
That's
it's.
what I was doing. All right.
All right, and then, yeah. So let me do that and see if it works for yours. Let's see if
Okay.
there's any. And then where were these? D37. Okay, that's right. Let's just. No, didn't. Okay, that looks right. Fixed cost. That looks right. That looks right. Oh, this one goes all. Well, Okay, try doing that. We need to rename the flight flow range, I think, because everything is over here is associated with that. So let's try this. If you can see this, click this range. Okay, flight flow. So select D36 to D59 and formulas, create from selection, top row, okay. And if it says replace it, click on yes.
Okay.
All right, and let's do the same. I don't know what happened here, but this should be, what is this? Where'd that title? This should be ground flow.
Oh.
I don't know where that name went there.
All right.
I don't know what these zeros are doing here. Oh, I think you just applied. Okay, so I know what you did. When you were doing the zeros, your zeros went just through this, just kept going.
Got you.
But re-put the title ground flow here,
And then make it as a what's the name?
yeah, range name, and so D62 is D62 to D134, then formulas, create from selection, top row, okay, and then okay, then it should do that. Okay. And now let's try this again and see if we get it.
So now I should have all the range names, so I should be able to just type them in.
Yeah, let me close mine so I don't get my.
So flight underscore flow from a ground flow, right?
Yeah, but I thought we should have already done them because maybe not.
Underscore
It already came up with those. But what's this one here? Looks right. Oh, these ones are messed up. Okay.
I'm just all over the place.
Yeah, it all started with the range names getting located in. So we got to do these ones again. So I'm going to do flight origin, flight destination, flight avenue, and flight flow all again, and see if this works. And these ones as well. Let's see if this does it. I don't know.
All right. It's all good, man.
Okay, flight flow, ground flow, overnight flow. We got that. Got this. That looks right. I think we're missing something here too. I've gone too far. I gotta fix this now. All right, so this you're missing an argument here. I can see that. So yes, sum if flight destination, flight flow plus sum if ground destination. Okay, then we got that one more. Yeah, minus this. Oh, okay, I fixed it.
All right.
So all you gotta do is redo the range names for the flight arcs and the overnight arcs, and then fix
Mhm.
this formula. So did you? So did you make the range names again for these ones? So go ahead. All right. So we should be able to do this.
Yeah, so for flight origin, flight destination, flight net revenue, and flight flow.
Yeah. So you redid those ones,
Yep.
and what about these ones?
Which ones? Ground?
Yeah.
I'll redo them right now.
Okay. Okay. So redo. So select A62 to D.
Yeah, I redid those.
Okay. And then I think all you got to do is change this formula. So you had it right except for this last piece. So
Which
if
one?
it's
Which one was that? Which
so
cell?
oh sorry I-37, yeah, I-37, this first one under net outflow, that big formula.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so you had everything and then just add this part at the end. So after plus sum if ground destination H37 ground flow, after the parentheses, put this part. Plus sum if overnight destination H37 overnight flow.
All right, hold on. So you said after ground flow, put
Mhm.
plus some if.
Yeah, so this part of highlighting, if you can see that, put that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some if. Whoa. So delete ground destination, comma H37, comma overnight flow.
Oh, which one is in there?
So, oh, it wasn't showing the whole thing. So my last one is ground destination, comma H37, comma ground flow.
Right, yeah, so leave that, and then after that, put this part in that I have. Did you see that? So
Oh,
you
got you.
add this last argument, and then that, because that needs to, you forgot the third one. So
Some
plus sum if overnight destination H37 overnight flow, and then make sure you got the two parentheses at the end to put that in there. So just put this part in.
okay.
Let's see if
All right, and now do this over again. See if that worked.
Okay, first you got to apply that formula down to correct them. So if you got this
Oh,
one fixed, double click the bottom right corner so it applies it down these ones.
the arrow's not turning black.
What? Oh, this part?
Yeah.
So just double click that like that. Oh, you have to enter first. So just Okay, did you get it? This.
Yeah.
Oh, so then if you got that formula applied down to these ones, let's just run the solver again, and I got it to work. So just do
Okay.
solve. Just don't change anything, and let's try it. Solve.
All right, I got it.
Got 396.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Thank you, man.
All right, you're good.
I'm about to submit mine. I have a couple questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Just because I was running a little behind. I was super
Yeah.
confused why it wasn't working earlier, but I think I have it all working now.
Okay, perfect. Do you want me to look at yours, or you just have a few questions? You can.
Yeah, I'd like you to look at me or look at mine.
Yeah, no
So
problem. Just post
give me
it
a second.
under. Yeah, and then everyone else. Raymond, are you still there? Do you have do you need me to look at yours?
Yeah, mine's still not working.
Okay, and Abdullah, are you still there?
You can look at Raymond's first.
Okay. Okay, all right, he's not there. Okay, let's see what we got here first. Oh, cancel. Okay, sorry, I messed up yours. Let me continue. All right, so this is yours. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good. Okay, all those formulas are correct. I think you're missing a parenthesis here. So I'm just double checking some of the key formulas. I think this is yours, Raymond. So in I-37, I think you got it except for, so it should be equals this. Then right here, after that minus sign, you need to have a parenthesis to subtract all this. So see right here where the minus sign is, you can put a parenthesis right there like this. I think that's all you need. Yeah, because you've got the two parentheses here, but you didn't have an equal number of parentheses. So see where I just put that parenthesis right there? Do you see what I did?
Yeah.
So try doing that. Enter. Okay, hold on. Okay, try doing that. Hit enter, and then if you can reapply it down, so fix it in that one, and then double click the bottom right corner of I-37 like this. Okay, and so apply it down with that extra parenthesis. All right, then let me just try running the solver. That might be the only problem. Let's see. Yeah, that did it. So if you make that one little fix, it looks like everything else was correct. Just that you're just missing a parenthesis, so it couldn't finish the calculation. Okay, so put
Okay,
that
got
parenthesis
it.
there, apply it down, and run
Yeah.
the solver. Did that work?
Yeah, that worked. Thank you.
You got 396.
Yep.
Okay, all right, you're good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, let me look at.
All right, I have some of it. I was a little confused on number 7 on the worksheet
Okay.
on what the reference is meaning to, but I think I just need a little refresher.
Okay. All right. So where are we at here? Okay, so where step are we at?
I think step 7, but I just wanted to run through it one more time, like all of it, just because I'm trying to fix
okay.
everything. If you don't mind
Yeah.
doing that with me.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we've got. So did you do the range names?
Yeah, I believe I did the range names. I just wanted, how do you check what range names you have?
Oh, so good question. So click on formulas and then
Okay.
and then do you see the name manager thing here?
Yeah. Wait. Let me check. I might have to name manager. How do I get name manager up? Because that is not up on mine right now. It says like define names right above it, but it doesn't say name manager. Sorry, this is
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could possibly not have the same location on the Mac version, but actually, unless there's another, it might be another way to get to it. But actually, it doesn't matter as long as we have them. So we'll just let me just check them here. I'll just check them as we go. So
okay.
all right, so we got the name. Let's assume we got the ranges. If we don't, we'll put them in. Because if you don't have them, it won't show up. So
Yeah.
okay, we got the ranges, and then you got to put that formula here. Let's see. Okay. All right, then what you want to fix on yours is the same the same exact thing that I just fixed on Raymond's. Is see how after the minus sign you got to put a parenthesis here, like
Yeah.
that, and you got to put in. I think first put that.
So you put it before the parenthesis?
Yeah, sorry, after the minus sign. So you got these whole first things equals sum if flight origin H37 flight flow plus sum if ground origin H37 ground flow plus sum if overnight origin H37 overnight. Okay, the whole first part is right, and then minus parenthesis. See that?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Sorry,
Yeah.
I have to reopen it. It was boom. This is a lot easier when we're in class and I can like
Yeah.
watch it instead of having to add it into my thing. So
Yeah. Well, I agree, but fortunately, I can't do it.
yeah, it was C37, correct? Oh, I37.
Yeah, I37.
Okay. So could you say that one more time?
Yeah. So you got this. So all I did, I clicked on your formula and I put this parenthesis right there, and we got a few more things, but let's start with that. So you got all these things, and then you had the minus sign.
On the minus right before the sum?
Yeah, after the minus sign, put a parenthesis right there, right here.
Okay.
Okay, and then we got sum if flight destination H37 ground flow minus sum if we're missing something here. We're missing the ground. Okay, so right there, so it's minus sum if flight destination H37 ground flow, then after that parenthesis plus
Okay.
sum if ground dist. Oh wait. Yeah. Okay. This is. Gotta fix the first one first. Okay. Delete that. So this one. So we got flight flow, ground flow, overnight flow. Then this should be minus sum if flight destination H37 flight flow.
Oh, it should be flight flow instead of ground flow for on the minus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then in between, you're gonna add the ground flow one. So it's gonna be plus.
Sum if.
Ground destination. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and so what we did here, so we got the parenthesis, then in the parenthesis, minus parenthesis, sum if flight destination H37 flight flow, and then a separate one plus sum if ground destination H37 ground flow, and then this one you already have, plus sum if overnight destination H37 overnight flow, and then
Overnight
add,
flow.
and then put one more parenthesis right there, so because this whole thing has got to be subtracted.
Okay.
Yeah, so just double check this. The first part was all correct, and then the minus sign, and then double check this stuff after the minus sign. I think.
Okay. So
I think you got it, but
minus sign parentheses sum if flight destination H37 flight flow plus sum if ground destination ground or H37 ground flow, and then overnight destination H37. Yep. Should
okay.
have that.
All right, so enter, and that should give you 0. And then just apply it down. So click on I-37
Mhm.
and double click the bottom right corner like that to apply it down to all the other ones. Okay, so you should have that same formula go down the cell there in the I column.
Yeah, all the way down to 111.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so that was the main formula. And then what's next? Step 2. Did we get that? So where's K37? Okay, you got that. And
Okay, 37. That's the 0, right?
yeah, you already got that. So did you? What's F37? Did we get that? Oops. Okay, you got that. Step 4 is B150. Okay, you got that. Let me just make sure that the range name is right here. All right, that's good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. That. Got that. Okay, so a few more things. So let's put some. You're gonna put any values in the overnight flow. So in E138, just throw a 0 in there. All right, and then just copy it down. So put a 0 in this whole range there. Okay, and solver will fix that. So just put zeros in there. And then okay, and then for flight flows, put zeros in there too. So put a 0 in D37. Okay, and apply that down. Okay, then you got to get the flight net revenue. You're still there, right? Colt,